I'm streaming right now on twitch.tv. Kriibus, come watch me. I have been dry for 6 kill counts and I demand answers, Jagex. Is this how you treat your loyal customers? 6 kill counts. Try. You know what? I'm just gonna log out. Yeah, just log out and never log back in. But like, after I finish the next raid, because you know, addiction and other stuff. How you guys doing? Bad? Because Jagex ruined raids 3 for you. Me too. Well, honestly, never mind. I don't really care. But anytime Jagex messes up, it's a great way for me to farm content because, you know, that's what content creators do in 2022. Farm the latest trends to a point where nobody wants to talk about it and then move on to the next topic. Well, today's topic is balance changes in old school RuneScape. Ugh, disgusting. Well, on Wednesday we got changes to the so-called update of the year, and I'm gonna be honest with you, there was a lot of them. And you know how in Steam there is a rating system called mixed feelings? Or you know, better yet, you know how in Facebook you can have relationship status? It's complicated. Well, we are at this point, so why don't we just let the whole world know it's complicated between us and Jagex. So let me go through all sides of the story here and we'll come to a conclusion where nobody agrees with each other, because even though we are all grown adults, we can't discuss topics like adults. Instead, we throw insults and mean comments until the other side just gives up. Did I get it right? I hope I did. Because once again, according to many players, Jagex has managed to split the community. Let's start with the main point of view. Now, this is Joe. We'll call him Average Joe. Average Joe has a job, has other hobbies, maybe, just maybe, even has a few friends. He can probably play old school RuneScape like, what, 10 to 15 hours a week? He doesn't have endgame gear, he has pretty average stats, and Dooms was a gateway for him to access raids content. A big reason why Joe was enjoying Dooms for the first week was because it really was accessible to him. Raids 1 and 2 are extremely hard to get into unless you really do have endgame gear and stats, and the time it takes to get to that point is just not enough for Joe yet. Raids 3, however, was the opposite. Jagex literally said if you manage to beat the quest for Raids 3, which requires like 70 plus stats, you can also complete Raids 3. Update on Wednesday, however, made it so more bosses are now harder to defeat. The helpful spirit gives you less supplies, now to a point where one of the 3 options is just so overpowered, leaving the balance changes scratching heads. Is it really balanced if things are more unbalanced? Question mark? I mean, just look at this. What is this? 8 Prius and 2 Ambrosia? How is this balanced at all? Unironically, I think I'm gonna take the worst option though, because it's the only one that offers salts. But like, I don't know, this feels wrong. I can see the idea behind this, like, make a really hard choice that affects you down the line. But the reality is, no, it's just a bit annoying, that's it. This choices doesn't affect me at all, but it does affect Average Joe, where you need both souls and supplies to complete raids. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this. So in the eyes of Average Joe, Raids 3 really isn't forever ruined, but it's much harder to participate in this content now. I'm gonna give out soft number here, but I think about at least 80% of player base is in the same bucket. If you can do Raids 1 and 2, these balance changes don't affect you in any way whatsoever. If this was your introduction to raiding, however, it was much easier to start last week than it is now. Which is fascinating. Jagex went this route when their entire purpose was so that everybody could enjoy the content. I want to briefly go over what was so drastic about the changes on Wednesday that made it hard for mid-level accounts to enjoy, and what they now, 2 days later, have done to fix that. The first and the most important change is the final boss. Now, since the change on Wednesday, I managed to complete about 10 raids in total, and I definitely felt the change compared to last week. The fight was unnecessarily longer than it had to be. I wouldn't have minded this change if there was different mechanics on each core, but now it's just you do the same exact thing but twice as long, just for the sake of doing it. Instead of killing the core 2 or 3 times, you had to kill it like 5 times because they didn't really put any reasoning to it, besides the fact that it should be more challenging. Slap some extra HP and call it a day. It's like putting King Black Dragon to 700 HP because you wanna make it more challenging. That is just a lazy design, if you ask me. But they changed that today. Now every time the BP pops out of the water, it lasts a bit longer than the last BP, which is good because again, for me this wasn't something game changing, but just a little annoying. Just like with the supplies thing, but for average Joe, this could be game changing. I feel like the helpful spirit needs a bit of touching. No. That wasn't what I meant when I said that. What I meant was change the values up on the shop so I don't get slapped with 10 brews and nothing else, which makes the run almost impossible to complete. Like you saw before, I'm always gonna pick the salts because usually I just have so many supplies that I don't need to take anything else. But what the hell is a player who just started raiding gonna do with 10 brews when the player has no salts? Just jog brews until he or she gets brew overdose? When you add in other changes like giving Seabug 10% more base HP, again, if I am using Blowpipe with Dragon Darts, Bowfa, Twisted Bow, this is just another 3 or 4 hits for us. But if you're using Chrome Crossbow or Magic Shortbow, 10% extra HP could be the difference between failing the room or completing it. Luckily they are working on these changes and they are getting properly fixed after a massive backlash on Reddit and Twitter, which is a topic I want to discuss as well. Oh my god, people were furious. If you guys were on Reddit on Thursday, it was an absolute minefield, and I kinda get it. What these changes did to me was like, I don't know, make it 3 minutes longer. But if I was like a level 90 Iron Man flexing my imbued magic shortbow and black tea hide, I would be furious right now. And furious people were, oh my god. If you guys saw Reddit on Wednesday, it was a disaster and a half. I'm just gonna say it. Look at this picture. Top 20 posts were all about how Dooms is ruined now for most players. Oh my god. Oh, I love drama. The so-called balancing update made Dooms a lot less enjoyable. Latest Dooms update completely ruins it for me. Thanks for ruining good content with the new balance changes, Jagex. Dooms was actually fun, now it's just another grind. What the hell? Did I just get popped after completing the room? Jagex! I swear if he took away my chance for a purple now, there will be riots with only one participant, me. Okay, let's continue. Look at this shop. It's ridiculous how overpowered this life option though. So yeah, the topics just kept going and going and going. I think at this point we're about 40 rage topics in, and it was 24 hours since the changes. Good ratio if you ask me. And then we had this picture. Honestly, I'm not sure if I should be scared or impressed by the meme game you guys have. And hey, look, that's me on the bottom picture. Whoever captured that moment, kudos. Why does everything have to be balanced for the top 5%? Well, why does it have to be this way? Let's look at the other side of the coin here. The top 5%, or I guess the guys who have doo-doo coming out of their butts because of crying. Let's be honest, it's very likely you are not in the top 5%. No roast here, just being honest. I genuinely believe you have 80 stats, 3 full voids, a stab weapon, blowpipe and trident, gear that requires about 15 million GP in total. You can easily clear normal raids quite efficiently. The same thing like with everything else in old school RuneScape is that once you learn the core mechanics of the content, after that it's just small mechanics that aren't that punishing. Now if you don't have those, I believe you should stick to entry mode raids. Still having chance at good loot, but it's rare. I think those aspects of the game haven't changed yet, which were true last week as well. Old school RuneScape on its core is very simple game compared to every other MMO. What I mean by that is if you done PVM before, you will likely nail raids 3 as well after few tries. Okay, I'm gonna record over this so you guys can watch a gamer doing gaming stuff, okay? So it took us 5 hours to figure out normal raids on day 1. Now yes, I did this with people who understand PVM really good, but even if it takes you twice as long, let's say it takes you 3 days to figure this out, the entire weekend. I feel like that is a comfortable amount to learn anything in old school RuneScape. 3 days to understand the core mechanics. Once you have those down, it's just time. It's just time, which is core part of old school RuneScape, time. And to prove my point even further, some of the things Jagex changed made it more beginner friendly. Some of the bosses and puzzles were changed to a point where it feels a lot smoother now and more enjoyable to complete. So if your main complaint is that raids isn't as fun anymore, you should have seen it on the first week when you get BS stats because there is millions of balls in the final phase of Akka where you can't physically dodge anything, or when Seabug's jugs were so difficult to aim and hit to clunky mechanics, they fixed all of that, which should help mostly beginners. Right? There is a great comment made by a user in Reddit called Katik Logic who went into detail how you can complete your raid solo. All the rooms, all the bosses. I'll put the picture on the screen. You can pause the video if you want and read through it if you're struggling. It's a great 2 minutes of reading. In conclusion, I feel like overall some players are upset they missed out on the first week of craziness that was happening and now feel left out. The idea that my friend won the lottery and got a purple on first week while I didn't get anything, that mentality has taken over like a disease. I say this as a guy who's done entry mode, normal mode and is reaching for expert modes. This raid is still very much fun and exciting to try out, even if you have full Mystic Ivan staff and Rune crossbow. You can still complete it even though Jagex messed up some balance. The impact it has on the overall picture is not that big. Playing RuneScape is all about time and I understand many people don't have that now. Like I said at the beginning, you have a job, hobbies, friends, family, maybe even a few lucky ones have a significant other and you wanna enjoy the raids 3 like everyone else. Well, you still can. Just take your time and you get there. Enjoy the journey, not the end result. And trust me, even though Jaggy has some bias and tendencies to screw things up, I am sure they have their best intention to work as hard as possible on their update of the year to ensure everyone can enjoy it and fix these issues that are happening right now. This was your 3 minutes of therapy with Kriibus. I mean, 48 hours after the balance changes went live, they already backtracked and said, okay, we did a bit of an oopsie doopsie here. Sorry guys, which is great to see. It means they're trying their best to make this work. If I had any ideas for Jagex, one thing I wish they did was use the invocation system more. It's literally designed to go for an infinite value. You want hard, you get hard. You want easy, you get easy. It's an amazing system that could be used to make raids 3 even more accessible to everyone. Stop changing the base of the raids. Instead, focus on the invocations that have impact on everyone. How about add an invocation that makes the helpful spirit give you more supplies and less souls? Or the other way around, or make the power less sucky and more yummy. I don't know. I feel like the world is Jagex's oyster here. Now, does Jagex have bias against content creators? Yes, absolutely. That includes me as well. I don't think anyone can disagree here. If they bring you out to play test at their headquarters in Cambridge, ask for your opinion after you put hundreds of hours into the content, it's likely they take your opinion more seriously than average Joe who only put like, I don't know, 5 hours into the raids. But here's the thing, this exact content was advertised for average Joe. So why are we taking the top 5% of PVMers' words as the holy truth and nothing else? That's kind of weird to me. So like I said, there is 2 sides to this coin and hopefully Jagex can figure out this mess because honestly, even I'm starting to get confused by my own words. Who is what, who is when, I don't know where it is, I don't know. The truth is, tonight you're still gonna go to sleep, okay? Tomorrow you're still gonna wake up, hopefully, and you're still gonna log in because you don't have friends and nobody loves you. Oh god, that was way too personal. I'm sorry. I mean, you love old school RuneScape, that's why. Yeah, that's what I meant. I just wanted to show you guys I have 69 kill count now, which means I have to stop playing Raids 3 forever. Please type nice in the comments. Okay, boys and girls, love you all so very much. I'm likely streaming on twitch.tv Kriibus right now. If you enjoy my content, please make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys in a few days with another video. Love you. Bye. Mwah.